I don't know. I usually do these on Instagram, so I'm trying to like get the used of this. Dudes really thought Machado could beat Tank. Oh hell no. The thing about Machado is he's like lengthy and he looked very sharp, especially with his style, with his Puerto Rican style. He looked very, very sharp, especially with having someone like Freddie Roach in his corner. I think that also gave him a little bit more popularity because Cotto was with Roach towards the end, you know? So that kind of gave him even more popularity because it's like, oh, look at Freddie Roach and these Puerto Ricans. And he's like just basically shaping them to be what, you know, to replace Cotto as a champion of Puerto Rico. But, you know, it's crazy because people were giving Cancio no chance the first time around. I was actually at that at their workout, at their media workout for Machado versus Cancio, the first one, and Machado was getting all the attention. He was getting all of the attention from the media. No one even wanted to talk to Cancio, and I was just like, damn, you know, who won? Cancio won. History repeated itself. He gave him a double dose of that body shot, and I believe it was in the third round. So Cancio just another hook, I believe it was, to the body, and he got up, but like at the count of 9, and then he finally got up, and the ref still stopped it after they waved it off basically. And at first he didn't really say anything. He didn't say like, oh, you know, why the fuck are you stopping the fight? But he did say in the post-fight interview, like, I don't agree with him stopping the fight, even though he didn't really like object right away. That was a silly ass game plan trying to fight Gancio on the inside, especially being a southpaw though. He has no reason to not stay at distance and try to outbox Machado. Machado did his thing. There's not too many Mexicans that can retire. You can retire while we're the best. You know what's weird? I honestly thought that Machado give would win in the rematch. And given that first round, I know that it was like a really busy round. It was back and forth action. It was like really good counter shots from both of them that were catching each other. But it was Machado with the best punch. It was Machado with the crisper, more accurate punches. So I did think that he was gonna win. I was like, oh shit, like I think Machado's gonna take the rematch. I think Machado's gonna take the rematch. But as the second round developed, I was like, yeah, no, he was not taking Cancio's shots very well. I was actually really scared too because Cancio had the accidental headbutt cut above his eyes. So I'm like, eesh, you know, this is my end because of this shit. But luckily, it didn't. I agree. Machado showed no urgency in getting up, and I think it's true what Cancio said post fight. Cancio basically said that he didn't want to get up. That Machado didn't want to get up because he knew that should he get up, the attack was gonna, was gonna be a consistent attack. He was gonna continue the attack, and he just didn't want it anymore. So I think Cancio was right with that saying that post fight. I don't know how. I have to touch the screen for the comments to come out. It's really annoying. And on Instagram, they just pop up. Machado has no heart. He's done. I think he's still a good name to pair against anybody else who wants to, lace him up with him. If he wants to try for another title, I think he's a good guy while he lasts. So I mean, maybe who knows. I don't know how to put the comments on here other than to touch the screen. How do I there? Okay, Machado was too lengthy and didn't try to fight at all. Yeah, you'd think that he would use that advantage because he's a lengthier guy and he has like the stronger legs, I think. So that was weird for me too. I swear to God, I have no idea how to put the fucking comments to come up. What's up with that Triple G trilogy? I heard it fell through. You know what? With these trilogies, especially with Canelo and Triple G, you really don't fucking know up until the end if it's happening, if it's not. You really don't know. So it really pisses me off, but we really won't know until the end. Remember, in the first one, oh yeah, yes, no, yes, no. The second time, it was like, oh, Oscar sent him a final offer, and Triple G said no. And then I was like, wait, he said yes, let's do it. I had to pay him, I don't know how much out of my own pocket, but it's happening. And it's like, I think it's gonna happen because there's a reason why fucking Triple G got signed to DAZN. He didn't just get signed to DAZN for no fucking reason. They're definitely doing a trilogy, and they definitely want to do it on DAZN. DAZN wants to cash out on that shit. Like, it's happening. But of course, they're gonna play this little back and forth bullshit that they always do. I'm tired of it. Cancio broke Machado's spirit. I think. See, and that's why I was hopeful, not hopeful, but I was because it was a great fight for how long it lasted. But I was thinking that Machado would actually come back even stronger because they were both in the first round looked so hungry. They both looked so eager to land the better punches. They both looked so eager. They both looked like they were landing shit with bad intention. They both wanted to end each other. But then as the second round developed, I was like, yeah, like this is not gonna be good for Machado. So yeah, I mean, I also, a lot of guys, when you beat them a first time and you hand them their first L, they get super like defeated, and you can see it. You can see it that they're not the same afterwards. Machado didn't show me that in the first round. He looked pretty good in the first round, so I'm like, huh, all right, like he's not. This is not gonna happen with him. And again, the second round just proved me wrong. I really don't want to see Canelo versus Triple G3. Triple G has fight someone first. Why does Triple G? I mean, I really don't care. Like, I agree. I don't mind a trilogy, but I think Canelo has so many options right now, so many career improving options that I wouldn't mind a third fight with Triple G, but I feel like it shouldn't be a priority. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people say, oh, there's unfinished business. They were both close fights, and I agree. But again, I think there's so much other talent that Canelo can face that can alter his career in a good way that it shouldn't really depend on Triple G. So I don't know. I don't mind it, but I'm not like woo about it. I think we all think that at this point Triple G now just has a puncher's chance against Canelo because Canelo looked really good the second time around. I don't know how to. Okay. Triple G looked like mierda though. So who did he look like mierda against? Canelo? I'd rather see Canelo become undisputed. The thing is, I think the reason why Oscar's telling Triple G that he needs to get a belt in order to fight Canelo next is because they want him to fight Boo Boo Andrade. I think they want Triple G to go through that, uncomfortable fight. Nobody wants to face a guy that's more technical, that has footwork, that is sneaky, that it's just a fighting who fights backwards. I don't think anybody wants to fight a guy like as technical as Boo Boo is, but especially not Canelo. We know that the style that Boo Boo has is a style that Canelo especially doesn't do well against or doesn't look well against. So they want kind of Triple G to do the hard work in a way. I'm not saying Boo Boo would be Canelo, don't come for me, but what I'm saying is that that's Canelo's style that se le dificulta más. It gets difficult for Canelo to cut off the ring, to be able to chase these fighters. And I think for Canelo to face guys that are technical fighters, that fight more on the back foot, that are more, southpaws, these guys, he already fought Jacobs. And look at Mexicans didn't like that shit. Mexicans, you gotta throw putazos or you're a fraud. And Mexicans were not happy with Canelo's fight with Jacobs, even though most of us thought that Canelo beat Jacobs pretty. I mean, it was not a shutout, but it was, in my opinion, it was pretty obvious that Canelo won. But Mexicans like putazos, so they were not happy with that. And for Canelo to fight now again with Boo Boo, to me, it's like career suicide for a while because Mexicans don't want to see that shit, and people are just going to keep criticizing him regardless of the belt or not. So I think they want Triple G to get that belt against Boo Boo so then Canelo can fight Triple G. And, we know that we've seen that Triple G is not going to be Canelo on the scorecard. So unless Triple G gets a knockout, that belt is Canelo's. Nobody wants to fight a guy like slick, southpaw, lengthy, technical, like Boo Boo is. Defensive. So why not make someone else do it and then take his belt and then become undisputed? So I think that's why they're pushing it. The Blair Cobbs fight was dope. Dang, dude, Cobbs he looks like a straight up psychopath to me. You saw his. I mean, I'm used to his woos, but when they zoomed in the camera on him in the corner, when they were introducing his name, he looked like a straight. I'm like, oof, I'd be on the other side scared to fight him. But that was a good ass fight, especially because I mean we know that in the welterweight division we know who the top dogs are. We know, but to see guys coming up and I mean he's older, but it's cool to see guys that would give these guys like a cool fight, just to give them a good fight. Um. Oh, sorry, I lost him. Triple G has a very mediocre resume. He needs to stop acting like Canelo owes him another payday. I think the reason why he acts like Canelo owes him another payday is because of how close the first two fights were, and because most of the media most had Triple G winning. If you look at the media outlets, both credible and non-credible, they all had Triple G winning, right? YouTube media had Triple G winning. ASP, all those people had Triple G winning. However, people that were boxers, like actual boxers, had Canelo winning. If you notice, for the majority of the boxers had Canelo winning. So I think that's why. Again, I don't think he owes him anything. That's my son, by the way. Say hi if you want. He's a Triple G fan. Actually, what was I saying? Yeah, I think that's why he feels like he owes him something, just because there were such close fights and everybody else reassures him that he won. So he's like, I want that fight, again, it's a payday. He just wants to get money. Why not? He's older already. He needs to make money. He's not gonna be in boxing in the ring for that much longer. So I think it's not as much as he owes me. It's just like I really want another payday before I just go to promoting. Canelo versus Triple G is not a must-see fight. Too many options for Canelo. Yes, I mean, I would love for Canelo to fight Boo Boo too. Even though I just said basically that, it'll be a boring fight for us, regardless of the outcome of Canelo becoming undisputed, or maybe 100. Who the fuck knows these days? Maybe 100 beats Canelo and he becomes undisputed. But even though it's such a cute, cool fight of an undisputed for the undisputed middleweight championship, it would be a boring fight. You know what I mean? Up until Canelo gets the knockout, if he would get the knockout, or if we would just make him look stupid for 12 rounds, but it would be boring. So I think Caleb Smith at 168. We've seen the majority of UK champs come to the US, or I mean, even if they go over there, but basically get exposed. I hate that word. I hate that word. But that's what people use. That's what people on Twitter on Instagram use. Exposed. Can you stop making noise, please? Go, if you're gonna play drums over there. I really don't like that word, but that's how we see in UK fighters. We see UK fighters basically are fucking amazing in the UK fighting other UK guys, but then you bring them here or you put them against top opposition from the US or from Mexico and they crumble. So I would love to see that. And I would love to see another Mexico versus UK shit. I think if Canelo were to lose at 168, it wouldn't prove anything. It'd just be like, I mean, of course people would fucking talk a lot of shit to Canelo. He lost to Caleb Smith. But I don't think it would mean shit. Like, it would be like Mikey. He moved up. He lost. Okay, well, he's still champion in this division. You know what I mean? So I don't think that, even if he were to take a loss, I think it would prove that Canelo has balls. I mean, not that Canelo needs to prove he has balls, because he's already fought Triple G twice and he fought Jacobs after. So it's like, I think he already proved he has balls. But it would be cool to see Canelo move up. I would love to see Canelo against Charlo. That'd be a cool last fight too, especially because Charlo's last performance wasn't the best. I know Charlo's is gonna fight soon, so it's weird. But Canelo has options. Canelo fucking has options. God, I don't know how to. Oh, there you go. Shit, I take too long talking. Canelo versus Triple G. Oh, I already read that. Charlo is a mandatory. Andre's belt. That's what pisses me off, and I feel bad for Charlo, because Charlo was a mandatory. Charlo's been the WBC mandatory, right? He's like the WBC interim or some bullshit, like, WBC with all the dumbass belts. But, fucking Charlo has been the mandatory forever, and he's never gotten his shot. And then when Triple G lost to Canelo, they were like, oh, well, now Triple G and Charlo should fight for the mandatory place. And I'm like, what do you mean? Charlo's already the mandatory. Charlo's been the mandatory, and they were basically throwing him to Triple G like, oh, whoever wins now is a real mandatory. Like, shut up. Like, he's, I mean, obviously he didn't look good again in his last fight, but he's been the mandatory forever now, so jeez. Boo Boo reached out to Team G. They turned him down. Yeah, I don't think they wanted their first fight on the zone, like their DAZN debut, to be against someone like Boo Boo. Again, I said he's a tough guy for any fighter, as a southpaw, as a lengthy guy, as a fucking tactical fighter. He is very he's not I wouldn't want to do a debut if I was a boxer and I'm trying to showcase my shit. I'm not gonna fight him first. Shit, that'd be not good. So I think that's why I don't think they were avoiding him because they're scared of him. I think they were avoiding Boo Boo Andre because he's a boring fighter and they don't want that for Triple G's first fight. And I think, they're like, Canelo had a bullshit first fight on the zone. He had a bullshit debut against fucking Rocky Fielding. Let Triple G have his bullshit debut. I think whether they like to admit it or not, Triple G and his team do everything Canelo does. Triple G called Canelo or, criticized him for being a businessman or fighting smaller guys. What does he go and do? After Canelo fought Khan, he goes and fight Kell Brook. After, saying in previous interviews that Brook was too small for him. He goes and he fights him. So it's like, whether they like to admit it or not, they're always living in Canelo's shadow. Sorry, I just ate some chicken nuggets. So, yeah, I don't... Canelo just added some new skills. That way they were very visible with Jacobs. Yeah, I don't think it'd be an easy fight because, again, I don't think his win against Jacobs was an easy fight. But Jacobs was a huge motherfucker. That motherfucker was huge on Fight Night. But I think Boo Boo just likes to make you look stupid, and he's slick. And let's be honest though, who's Boo Boo's best win against? It's gonna be against Sulecki if he beats him, because we saw Sulecki did great against Rosado. Y'all saw Sulecki versus Rosado in the last fight? That fight was fucking good. But if he beats Sulecki, that'd basically be his best name. That'd be Boo Boo's best name. So I think based on resumes, yeah, Canelo should beat Andre. But because we know that Andre's style is the one that, se le dificulta a Canelo, that's what makes things interesting. What should make things interesting, most people are like, man, he's boring. Canelo got steel chin. Triple G is not the same. That moment has passed. Well, yeah, Triple G's older now, and I think we seen it too. He's what, 36? And yeah, they both have amazing chins. Oh, Triple G fans. Yeah, my son is a Triple G fan. But he likes Canelo too. But we don't really have favorites in this house. We just like boxing but they like both of them. How would that be boring? Technical fight. See, I'm not saying it's gonna be boring. I'm just saying the majority, the most public, finds those styles boring. Like I said, don't fucking come for me. I love a technical fight. I love watching that shit to an extent, of course, because like you mentioned, Easter versus Bartholomew, that shit was like, but that was not even because they were technical. That was because the motherfuckers weren't letting their hands go. They had like less than 10 punches every round. They didn't even make the double digits. So it's like, that's why, not because they were more technical. It's because you can be technical and still throw punches. So, or counter, at least try to counter. You can't just be fucking following each other around the ring. So that's different. That's not because they're technical. I'm just saying the majority, especially for the casual fan, they like putazos, they like phone booth action, they like sock and bop and robots, they like middle of the ring, and you're not gonna get that with Boo Boo, especially because in the latest fight we've seen Boo Boo also does a lot of countering. Most of his punches are counters, so counter puncher. Canelo's a counter puncher. It's like, how? You know what I mean? Like, people were pissed about Canelo versus Jacobs because they're saying it was boring. I didn't think it was boring. I thought it was a good fight, and people were fucking bitching. So I'm like, now imagine against Boo Boo. I honestly hate watching rematches. I fucking love rematches. Instead of fighters moving, facing, I think it depends. Like, some rematches aren't necessary. Like, why are you fucking having a rematch? But when it's like close fights, I don't mind them. Like, I like rematches. I love rematches because I feel like, especially if someone loses a title, they come back and they want to fuck you up. Obviously, we didn't see that today against, Cancio Machado. But the first round, it looked like Machado wanted his fucking belt back. And then after, he's like, never mind, you hit too hard. Or something like that. But I love rematches. I love rematches when they're good, man. Like, most rematches are good. I think it's because most rematches don't live up to the first fight. But look at Canelo Triple G. Canelo Triple G, the second fight was way better than the first. I love the second fight. I love the first one too, but the second one was good. Look at Barrera versus Morales. All those three fights are fucking bomb, and I never once said I don't want them to fight again. You know, like that shit was bomb. Bring it on. I love rematches. Jojo Cancio dos. You know what? It was that when Jojo didn't make weight when he fought Cancio, or am I tripping? I don't know, but I like Jojo Diaz. I think he's cool, but I don't see him as a special fighter. I think he beat Seven Farmer, but I don't know. Jojo Diaz is like, to me, is like me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him beating like anybody in that division that's like a champion. I think he should have been champion. Oh no, it was someone else. I don't remember, but he was supposed to be a champion because he beat that guy. It was right here at the Avalon. But he didn't make weight, so he couldn't get the belt anyways. So that, I give him props for the Gary Russell fight because he wanted that fight forever, and I do give him props for that because it takes balls to call out Gary Russell. I don't see anybody beating Gary Russell, other than Lomachenko. But yeah, Jojo's cool, but I don't know. I don't know about him. Charlo has to wait 3 years like Dylan White, but then he'll have his. You know what? You're right. It's fucked up with these mandatories, man. Like, it's so weird that the WBC, especially with the WBC, they do all these like mandatory bullshit things, but then they don't enforce it. They don't fucking enforce it. Look how long Brazil was the mandatory for Wilder. I mean, look how that turned out. That, I don't think that's a good example because look at that turned out. But still, like, he was a mandatory since November of 2017 when he beat Molina. Was, I don't no. I don't know who the fuck he beat. I think it was, he defeated that other guy to be Wilder's man, or to be the WBC mandatory. Since 2017, this motherfucker barely got knocked out this year. So it's like, you know, like it's these man. But then with when Canelo defeated Cotto, they were like, Canelo, you have 15 days to negotiate something with Triple G or give us that fucking belt back. And it's all about money because they want those sanctioning fees right away. And that's why Canelo wasn't having that shit. Like, here's your fucking belt, bitch. I don't give a fuck. But that's what makes me so annoyed about these mandatories and the WBC doing this shit, because the WBC is they're so infamous for doing that shit, for having mandatories and mandatory bouts and then not even following through with them up until it's convenient for them. Or look at Brazil only fought Wilder because the Fury rematch fell off when Fury went to ESPN. I mean, they're always gonna fight again, but because it fell off the immediate rematch, that's why they fought Brazil. Other than that, that fight wouldn't have happened. So again, the WBC is full of shit with their mandatory bullshit. And I'm pretty sure all sanctioning bodies are like that. Cause look at when the IBF, when Joshua was supposedly negotiating with Wilder, they're like, the IBF is like, nope, you gotta defend this shit. Defend it against Povetkin, right? It was against Povetkin, and they're like, why? Like, do you not see that they're supposedly that's when the whole thing like, oh, I'm gonna send you 50 million and all this shit was going on. And supposedly none of them signed the contract. I don't know what happened in there, but that the IBF was like quick to be like, no, zoop, and these are fucking negotiations because you gotta fucking defend your title, Josh, or else you gotta vacate. And it's like, these fucking sanctioning bodies are fucking full of shit, all of them. Hola. Charlo on PBC, Canelo on the Zone, so conflict broadcasters. Who's brought? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I watch most of them in Spanish, and I don't have any complaints on any Spanish commentators. They keep it real wherever I watch. I watch PBC, the ones in Spanish. When I watch ESPN, I watch it in Spanish. When I watch the Zone, I watch it in Spanish. So I don't care. Triple G turned down Charlo and Andre. He just wants a Canelo payday, and he's been wanting a Canelo payday because if you notice, Triple G, he's always been like, oh, I'm about the belts. Give me my belts, baby. My belts, my goddamn belts. When Canelo tested positive for Clenbuterol when that fight turned down, his mandatory for the IBF, was it again, or IBO? IBF, was Derevyanchenko, and he was free to fight. Did he fight him? He fucking picked Vanes, or I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but his team picked Vanes, somebody who hadn't fought in 2 years, was coming off a loss, and was his last fight was at 154. Literally, you could have picked anybody fucking else, but they chose to go with Vanes, and it's like Derevyanchenko was free. You're mandatory, and then they obviously Triple G got they the IBF took his belt, and then they made it Derevyanchenko versus Jacobs, and that's how Jacobs ended up with the IBF. But it's like same thing. It's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? But yeah, you didn't see him. He wanted to wait for Canelo. He didn't want to. Instead of being like, "Hey, I just did this whole camp. I'm gonna fight someone decent because I just did this whole camp, and I was gonna fight Canelo anyways, who's a tough guy. So might as well just fight somebody, at least, close to his caliber." That's why I say, whether they like to admit it or not, they live in they're living in Canelo's footsteps because they'd rather not risk it and wait to fight Canelo again. These chicken nuggets. But yeah, he just wants a payday, and I don't blame him. He already did enough in the sport. He just wants a fight, and it's not like it's gonna be a bad fight anyway. So, uh, Triple G all day. I have posters. I don't know if I can't. I have a bunch of posters. Triple G turned down. Oh, I already read that. Then how did Ruiz fight AJ? Wait, what are you guys talking about? Oh yeah, and I think, see, Ruiz not only made history by becoming the first Mexican heavyweight champion and defeating basically the fucking face of UK boxing, but he made history because he's like, fuck all these fucking sanctioning bodies, fuck all this politics and boxing and broadcaster and whatever the fuck. I want to fight. Because often we see this shit with fighters, especially with Spence and Crawford, when they're like, "Oh, you're on the other side of the street." That's what they call it, right? Like, "Oh, you're on the other side of the street." Like, fuck the street. Like, both of you guys meet halfway. If you really want to fight, you fucking do it. And I think that's what Andy proved. You want to fucking fight, you'll do it. All gave the okay. I'm glad it happened too. Yeah, yeah. Fucking hell, Heyman. No, that was 126 when Jojo beat Cancio. He missed weight versus Rojas is where he missed weight. That fight was here at the Avalon. I remember being like, "Bitch, you could have been a champion and you didn't even make weight. That's your fault." Thurman was Floyd's mandatory for 3 years. Only got his belt because Floyd finally retired. The thing is, fucking Thurman wanted the Floyd fight. He wanted, I mean, obviously for the payday, but I remember Thurman called out Floyd so many times, almost as much as fucking Amir Khan, but that would have been a good fight. That was WBA. The IBF is usually pretty strict. Wait, can you tell me what you're talking about? I see the one. That was a WBA. Which was a WBA, not the IBF? For Triple G? Because I thought it was the IBF because that's how Jacobs ended up with it. Because they took it away for Triple G for not fighting Derevyanchenko. Or are you talking about Jojo? Vanes was a cherry pick. I got help for saying that on Twitter. Vanes wasn't mine. Vanes on Twitter is fucking hilarious though. Remember, I felt bad when he went through his whole depressive episode, because Don King fucked him up. Don King be fucking people up, dude. Hola, Against the Ropes. Guys, you should listen to Against the Ropes podcast. They just had Cynthia Conti. If you don't know who Cynthia Conti is, she's a badass reporter for Ring. They just had her on their show. You guys should watch it. It's pretty cool. Triple G has done enough in the sport. To be honest, his wrestling is pretty trash. Hasn't. See, I guess you can say that he hasn't fought the best people, but he's fought basically everyone at 160. I think that's what people se enoja con Triple G, because they're like, he is not moving up. He hasn't conquered different divisions. He's just at 160. His resume is trash, but he's fought everybody at 160, and I think he tied Bernard Hopkins for the most title defenses. I think, right? He tied, or did he surpass that? Because I remember he had tied Bernard Hopkins for his most title defenses. But was that the Canelo Triple G 2? Or was Canelo Triple G 2 the fight that beat Bernard Hopkins' record? I don't know. Tell me, because I forgot. WBA and Forza Povetkin fight against it, not the ABF. Oh, okay, thank you for letting me know. I knew it was one of them. I was like, yo, what the fuck are y'all doing? Let these motherfuckers... We all want this fight. Can you guys let them, negotiate? So that should piss me off. But Vanes trying to sell his belts. He's broke. It's sad. Canelo's curse. Wait, he is? Sell his belts? He has belts? Vanes has belts? Can Ruiz surpass Canelo stardom? I think if he beats AJ again, I think he can. It depends. Let's remember that both Ruiz and what's his name, Wilder are PBC. What's his name? They're both PBCs, so that fight can happen. However, it's not going to happen anytime soon because we know that Wilder has those rematches with both Ortiz and Fury. So it's not like that. It's not like the unification is going to happen anytime soon. But I think he can because if you look at Andy, he has such great charisma and he's so down to earth and he is like this little chubby happy kid. He's jolly. He's like, yo gané y me falta un cinto y yo quiero ganar. He is so humble. He is so down to earth. He has a shit ton of charisma. Something Canelo doesn't have. And I'm not saying Canelo isn't down to earth. I'm not saying Canelo is like whatever the fuck people call him. I know people, we have to admit, people in Mexico do not like Canelo. People here don't like Canelo. So I think because Ruiz has that it factor of him being extremely charismatic and he's very easy to relate to as a Mexican champion who came from, I mean, Canelo came from nothing too, don't get me wrong. He literally came from nothing. He was from really poor Colonia, Guadalajara. But because Andy, we can relate to Andy in the way that his parents chased the American dream and look, he's a product of it. So it's more relatable. It's more charisma. Canelo doesn't have any of that. So can he surpass Canelo in stardom? Yes, I think he can, but it does depend on what he continues to do in the ring. Okay, sorry. Triple G doesn't have bad names, but he did tie B-Hop for all made. Yeah, I knew it was either a tie or he beat him. Yes, Abel. I think so. Yes, from 154. Oh, that's right. Damn, that sucks. I didn't know they got to keep the belts. I thought they took them away, modified them for the new champion, and then gave them to the new champion. I didn't know. Chicken nuggets, goddammit. I didn't know they got to keep the belts. I thought, I always was under the impression that, of course, the fighter doesn't get them right away after they leave, but I thought they like have him in the ring and woo, I won these titles, and then like the organizations take them, and then they redo them to like add the new champion, and then they send them to them. I didn't know they got to keep them, even though they like lost. Boxeo Boricua, I know, I'm sorry. It was a really bad night for Boricua boxing. It's been a rough patch for Boricua boxing since basically since Cotto lost to Ali, and retired. That's it's been tough, but keep working. Cause even if y'all don't have belts, like Boricuas have like really good heart. Well, I don't know, cause you guys just said Machado doesn't have a good heart, but Boricuas and Mexicanos, shit, that's where the fights are at. Get defense and Dominic Wade. Get defense versus Dominic Wade and Willie Monroe and Lemieux. LOL. B-Hop got his versus De La Hoya and Tito. You know what? Yes, and then what a lot of people don't like to talk about too is that the regular belt. I think Triple G had the regular belt also at one point and was making those defenses with the regular belt, and some people don't count those because they're like, the regular belt doesn't count. And I agree, I don't think the fucking regular belt counts. I think a lot of these fucking belts don't count. But regardless, people are like, that shouldn't count towards the defense number, but I don't make the rules. I don't want to either because that's too much bullshit. Y'all watching Polly tomorrow? I love Polly as a commentator. I think he does a really good job commentating for Showtime. He does a really good job, but as a fighter, I never fucked with him. I never thought he was special. I know he was like multi-division world champion, right? But he was always so corny to me. Like, he looks like out of the, like, when he was fighting, he looked like out of the Jersey Shore, just doing a bunch of out-of-pocket shit. Like, if you took Paulie back then and put him in the Jersey Shore, he would fit right in because of all the weird shit he was doing. Like, the thong incident, his little headband, the Broner post-fight interview is probably one of my favorite fucking moments of boxing ever. Because he's like, don't brag about taking my side piece. That's my side piece. You don't get laid. Oh, no, because Broner said, I took his belt and his bitch, and I was like, bro, that was like a sick ass moment. But again, um, I wasn't like too fond of him as a fighter. Well, not fond because I don't really care, but I wasn't like his biggest fan. As a I never saw anything super amazing special because he had pillow hands, but I think he does a really good job as an analyst and commentator. Just don't bring up Manny Pacquiao, because he will go off on Manny Pacquiao. But I don't know what the fuck he's doing this for. Why is he doing this? Like, is the money not good commentating at Showtime? Like, Showtime not paying you to be commentating? Because why? I just don't see a point. Like, what? Why you gotta do this? Because we all saw the pictures against McGregor, and it's like, obviously they were hand-picked pictures, I'm pretty sure, but they look pretty bad. Like, they look pretty fucking bad. So it's like, why are you doing this, my dude? I don't know. I don't like the shit he says. Like, he says a lot about a pocket shit. I know he's like trying to sell the fight, but he was basically saying like, "Oh, I'm gonna spit on his mom too if I see her on fight night." Because he tried to remember he spit. I hate. This is totally like random, but spitting on someone is the most degrading shit. Like, you are a piece of shit if you spit on someone. Period. Like, that's low. So for him to say that he was spit on his mom too, I don't care if he's trying to sell the fight. That's fucked up. So low key, I'm hoping he gets his ass beat just for that. But will I watch it as a pay per view? Because I'm not paying for that shit. But if I can find a stream, I mean, yes, I'll pay for it and I'll watch it. Um, sorry, I'm way behind. I talk too much. Does Triple G deserve a rematch after getting beat at his own game? He should have get the belt from Andre. I think we already discussed this. But yeah, I think for someone that bitched, fight Mexican style. You're not gonna fight Mexican style. They really didn't have a plan for if he did fight Mexican style, and it's like, y'all literally begged for this. This is what you guys asked for Canelo to fight Mexican style, and you guys are just like gonna have no fucking plan for it when he does or if he does. I think they never believed it because even at the press no, at the weigh-ins. We were at the weigh-ins, and Canelo, he did that whole, he came like rushing at Triple G, and I was like, what the fuck? But even Abel was like, yeah, he has that energy now, but tomorrow he's gonna be running around the ring, and I was like, yeah, probably. And then he did it, and like Abel had no fucking answer, and he never told Triple G to go to the body. Like, in the first fight, he threw 8 body punches. In the second fight, 6. And it's like, bro, go to the body, my dude. Like, what are you doing? So the fact that he had no other plan other than just keep coming forward and keep headhunting, I think what most people find the third fight intriguing is because now that Triple G is with Jonathan Banks, maybe they think he's gonna teach him something else, some defense, some fucking head movement. Even though in the last fight he didn't move his head, but Triple G just never moves his head. But just something else, my dude. I don't know. Like I had said, I think the reason why Oscar's saying Triple G should get a belt before you fight Canelo again is because they want they want Triple G to do Canelo's dirty work for him. Go fight Andre. Go take his belt, and then we'll fight you, and then we'll take that belt. That way, Canelo doesn't have to face someone that's slick and southpaw, and everything. Basically, Canelo doesn't do well against. Fuck, I'm so behind. The smaller weight class is giving us the real unifications. Hopefully, Roman versus Ray Vargas is next. Yes, dude. I love. A lot of people don't watch. Like, they're like, oh, my lowest is 140, and I'm like, bitch, why? Like, the little dudes can fucking fight, and yeah, there's not. I think because there's not a lot of knockouts all the time, but fuck, I love the smaller classes. I don't know who can beat Ray Vargas because that motherfucker is so lengthy. He's weird. Like, he's so tall and his hands are so. I don't know how anybody could beat him, but I would love to see. That's why I feel like just leave him alone. Let him have the WBC. Who gives a fuck? I would love to see Roman against Navarrete instead. Now that would be a badass fight. Cause look at Navarrete, how he did with Dog Bay. Remember that? Navarrete with Dog Bay? Those two fights were fucking fire. And Roman versus Doheny, or right? Doheny, that's how you pronounce the last name. This last fight, that to me, that's one of the candidates fight of the year. Because Roman was almost done in the 7th round. And then he dropped Haney like twice. So that shit was a good fight. So imagine now both of them, fucking Navarrete and Roman. Fuck Vargas. Let him keep his belt. He's lengthy. He's boring. Like, I hate calling boxers boring, but I just don't like that Vargas complains a lot. Like, when they're fighting, he bitches about everything. Like, when he fought Negrete, and Negrete was moving up to fight him, he, like, complained about everything. He's like, dude, you're winning. Why are you complaining? Like, so, just, I don't see how anyone can beat him. Like, just don't give him the belt. Just let him have that one and let him be. Chicana, puedes mandarle un saludo chicano a José Fernández de Guadalajara. Algo chicano saludando a mi homie. Viva la raza. I just want to give you like a really big history thing. Gunshots or fireworks. You'll never know in the hood. I don't like saying Viva la raza because that's kind of a, I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to go into this because this is not what this is about. But I will say, let me see. What's something really Mexican to say? Que viva México, cabrones. To who? Jose Fernandez. Jose Fernandez de Guadalajara. I was just in Guadalajara in April. I love Guadalajara. I was in Guadalajara, and then I was also staying at Lomas de Tonalá. That's what it's called, right? Lomas de Tonalá. So, viva México, cabrones. Viva Guadalajara. Viva Jalisco. Paulie had no power and always lost his big fights. Yeah, I mean, again, nothing wrong with losing your big fights because Cotto lost most of his big fights, but it's the way that you fight. Cotto gave Mayweather one of the best fights. He got stopped against Pacquiao, but he did give a fucking amazing fight. He had amazing fights against, the first fight against Margarito, even though that doesn't count because, Margarito and the fucking cheating and shit, but he lost amazingly. When Paulie lost, he just lost. I always remember when Khan destroyed Paulie. Man, Khan is such like a sad story for me in boxing because he was like prospect of the year back in, what was it, 2007? Hold on, let me put a pillow right here because I'm too close to the thing, but well, fuck it. When was Amir Khan prospect of the year? 2006? And he was like fucking fast, and people were like, damn, look at this guy. Like he's like, wow, and then he's just, I think, when was the first time he got like dropped? Was it with Peterson? I don't know. The Peterson fight was the one he lost on points because he kept like shoving. I thought that was bullshit. But who laid him out first? Because I know Danny Garcia was the second one to lay him out, right? I forgot. Fucking my American IQ right now is not there. It's not coming. But man, dude, like Amir Khan had a promising ass career, and then he just. And I've always said this, that with Amir Khan is not so much having a fragile chin, or what do they call it, a glass chin, is he has no defense. Like for someone that has is prone to getting caught with those shots and getting slapped, you'd think he'd work on his fucking defense. And it's like, yo, like, what are you doing? Another thing that I remember a lot of both Freddie Roach and Virgil Hunter talking about is that he doesn't stick to the plan and he's not very disciplined. So it's that regardless of him, he was doing amazing against Canelo. I think he was beating Canelo up until the 4th round, of course, because that's when Canelo started landing the body shots and, slowing him down. But I don't know. Go back and watch this fight. Go back and watch Canelo versus Amir Khan. Virgil Hunter tells him, don't set your feet. Don't set your feet down. Don't set your feet down. And that's why we saw like Amir Khan doing like weird shit. You know the little hop Amir Khan does, like he just does weird little hop around the ring, right? And Virgil kept telling him, don't set your feet. Don't set your feet. The minute, literally watch that round when he gets knocked the fuck out. He's like circling the ring. He literally sets both of his feet down, and then the punch comes and he's out. After Virgil had just told him, don't do that shit. Against Danny, they were telling him, like, don't engage. Like, counter. He's fast as fuck. Why is he engaging? Like, just wait for the counter and step out. Wait for the counter and step out. Maintain your distance. He's fast as fuck. Jab, get the fuck out. Counter, get the fuck out. But he chooses to engage every single time, and that can't end well for someone with a weak chin. It's like, you already know. It's not like this is news to him. that he has a weak chin. So you just work around that shit, my dude. So it just sucks because I thought Amir Khan had like a really bright future in boxing, and then he just doesn't stick to the plan. Cotto is tough. Sob fought with a torn bicep. Yes, dude. It sucks because that was his last fight, and I'm glad that he retired on his own terms. Like he knew and he had said that that was gonna be his last fight. So props to him. But dude, his fucking bicep was like all fucked up, and that's the only reason why Ali won, because Ali. And then look what happened to him. So you lost anyway, my dude. Fucking Munguia did you fucking like a ragdoll. I do like him as commentator though. Yeah, again, Paulie is he's a really good commentator. But sorry, I'm like on a pillow. He's a good commentator, but when you like bring up Pacquiao on the interviews, he like goes off fucking crazy. Broner's a bum. I don't like calling any fighter bums. I feel like I've never liked calling them that. I think I called Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I called them a sack of potato once, which I felt bad. And now I'm like, geez, that's fucked up. But I don't like calling them names. That's the only thing I've ever called. That's the only time I ever called a fighter something. Chavez Jr. I called him a sack of potatoes. And that was the last time. Especially as I like been getting experience going to gyms and looking at all these guys. The effort these guys put into the sparring alone, it's intense. And one time, I don't know who said this. I forgot. I watched too much boxing to remember who the fuck said what. But I remember someone said once that the fights you win during your training, you win the fights in training camp. You do everything in training camp. The fight is just where you deliver everything you already learned, but the fights are won in the training camp. And I'm just like, damn, that's true. Like now that I'm like visiting gyms, like I said, I have so much respect for these dudes. Like they show up early as fuck. They spar like 4 or 5 rounds, get off, go hit the bags, go do a bunch of shit, come back, fight another 4 rounds against some other guy. They're like switching the styles. Here, now fight this guy, now spar this guy. I can never call anybody who laces them up like bums. I just can't. It's not my thing. Fuck Broner though, he's stupid. I don't like calling him a bum because he's just stupid outside the ring. Inside the ring too, but especially outside the ring. Pac vs. Sturman breakdown. I want to make a whole video on that. But right now, I think I'm favoring Pac-Man still because he's older, but he's older, but his reflexes are still there. His speed is still there. He's not as fast as he used to be, but it's still a speed that can cause problems to his opponents. Now, because of Thurman's last performance against Josito Lopez, yeah, he won. But he struggled in that round against Josito. I feel like he still needed another tune-up. I think as much as we hate to wait on the champion, I think Thurman needed another tune-up instead of just going straight to Pacquiao. Not because he sucks, but because he's been out of the ring for way too long. It's ring rust, so will that be a factor? The ring rust still? I don't know, but that's a good fight. I was gonna go, but I had surgery and I have to recover for 3 months. I'm barely gonna be 1 month after my surgery, so I can't go. And I can't drink. My doctor told me I can't drink. I drank 1 michelada yesterday at the Dodger game. No, day for yesterday, and I swole up. Like, I was like a fucking tomato. I was a sack of potatoes after that. So I'm like, how am I going to go to Vegas and not drink? Like, that's not me. When I get to Vegas, I go first. As soon as I land, I drink in the airplane. And I get there faded as fuck already. So I can't do that. Pillow hands. He does have pillow hands. Danny Roman is better than Ray Vargas. He is. I'm not saying... If I'm going to just say it right now, if you guys don't already know, I have a huge crush on Danny Roman. I would die for him. I would do terrible things to that man. But Ray Vargas is just, to me, it's an inconvenience. Like, why even, like, bother or why even take that risk of fighting him when he's just like how do you even get in? Like, he's so lengthy. Like, he's so freakishly long. That's hard to beat him. That's just hard. But I agree with you, Elite 313. Is that Detroit? 313, is that because you're from Detroit? Let me know, because the only reason I know that is because I'm a huge Eminem fan. So I know that song from Infinite. Not everybody from the 313. Right? Let me know. Maybe I'm wrong, but hello. I'm definitely subscribing. Oh, thank you, because I'm gonna start posting more because I'm out of school now, so I can post stuff. Fighters got back to bad habits. Yes. You got that boxing IQ. I'd like to think I do have a boxing IQ, but sometimes I forget shit. I mean, Conby, Barrera, Sad, Polly, Maidana, Alexander. That Maidana fight was close, though. I love that Maidana fight. That Maidana fight was so close. But, Maidana came hard all the time. He became unified champ. And no, that's the thing. That's why I'm saying that his story is so sad. Because regardless of having this badass resume for the time that he was, in control, no one's going to remember him for that. No one is going to remember him for beating Maidana, for beating Judah. No one's going to remember that. Yeah, I'm not saying they're not going to point it out, but you're going to remember him for for getting knocked the fuck out and getting floored all the time. That's how we're going to remember Amir Khan, not because of his successes. And that's why I'm saying he's such a sad story in boxing. Because regardless of his badass resume, regardless of winning the fights prior to, except with Crawford, that fight was dumb. But he was always in control up until getting knocked the fuck out or getting hurt. So that's why I'm saying Amir Khan. I'm not dissing him. I'm just saying that that's a sad fight. I mean, that's a sad story in boxing because no one's going to remember that. Adios, Beat the Count Sunday. See you Sunday for Beat the Count. I'm going to be in the Beat the Count podcast, guys. Boxing IQ on point. Thank you. Yes, 313. Yeah. See, I knew it. I love Eminem. Maybe it's corny, but I love Eminem, and that's how I know. That's how I know that the 313. You think Crawford versus Spence should happen now? Should Crawford? I don't know about leaving Top Rank, but it should not be that big of a fucking deal. And I know it's about money, but I think that's what pisses me off about fighters. Like, yes, you guys deserve to get paid a lot because you guys are literally fucking fighting to, you guys are making a living out of punching each other. But when it's big fights like this, you guys should just take 50-50 and shut the hell up. Or I think Bob Arum just recently said in an interview, like, oh, 40-40 and then 20% to the winner. I'm like, damn, that's a good ass idea. Why don't we just do that all the time? Or that'd be fucking cool. Or 45-45 and 10% for the extra 10% for the winner. That's a fucking good ass idea, Bob Arum. I'm like, that's really fucking good, but make it happen. I don't get this whole, oh, well, I want to make more money. No, I'm the ace. No, you're both champions. Who cares? If anything, at this point, I think Spence would be the A side in the way of more fans. I think Spence has more fans, and I think Spence more recognized because he's in the public platform. Yes, the Mikey was a pay-per-view, but and even then, that gave him more fans because of the Mexico guys that watch, the Mexican fans that watch that fight. But he's in a public platform with Fox or with Showtime. He was a Showtime, so it was more of a public thing. It was more accessible than Crawford. He started fighting more on yes, ESPN, but then he was doing ESPN Plus. And the first fights on ESPN Plus, nobody was really digging that shit. Nobody was really on that shit. So I think more people know Spence than they know Crawford, which is weird because I think Crawford is higher on the pound for pound list than Spence, as he should be. But I think Spence has more fans willing to go to his fights. I don't think, you don't have to. Where are they gonna fight? Where's Crawford from? Like some fucking butt fuck nowhere. Where's he from? Nebraska? Where's he from? He's from like some town that you have to fucking go over there to, like, all his fights have to be over there. Like, let's not do that. But seriously, that fight just needs to happen. Omaha, yeah. That shit just needs to happen. I'm tired of, I get it that they want one wants to make more money than the other one, but let's just make that a fucking rule. 45, 10%, or 40, and then the 20% for the winner. That's fucking cool. The winner wins more money. That makes you want to fucking win more money. Like, that should be a thing. That should definitely be a thing. So I like, Bob Arum smoking that bomb ass weed, I think, because that's a good ass idea. Crawford, yeah, Crawford just resigned too. He ain't going nowhere. He's not fucking going anywhere. And I think in a way that's I don't think when people say like, "Oh, this fighter's scared," I don't think any boxer is scared. If boxers were scared, they wouldn't fucking be in boxing. They wouldn't fucking be boxing. You know, they're not scared. I think they're scared to lose because of how boxing fans currently just glamorize the fuck out of undefeated records. You know, past this Mayweather era, now he made people glorify undefeated records, and it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't. I don't give a fuck about losses. When people like now with the whole thing with Joshua's loss, people are like, "Oh no, the Wilder fight doesn't make sense." Why the fuck not? Styles make fights. Styles are different. Just because you lost to someone doesn't mean you lose to somebody else. It doesn't make you more prone to maybe losing to them. Maybe, but styles make fights, and I don't think undefeated records should mean shit. But they do for some reason. For some reason, as soon as the fucking fighter loses, oh, exposed, exposed. He got exposed. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, literally, boxing's the only sport where if you lose, you ain't shit all of a sudden. Look how much backlash the Charlos got in their last fights because they didn't look as spectacular. It's like, dude, styles make fights. They're not gonna look fucking amazing against everyone. Look at Canelo. Canelo fucking struggles with those southpaws and the defensive guys. That's everyone else in the boxing world, but especially him. He's not that well at. He doesn't do that well at cutting off the ring. So I hate that. But you know, I don't glorify. I don't give a fuck about. That means nothing to me. Undefeated records means nothing to me. And even nowadays, when fighters are protected, it's like, well, you know, you haven't fought, you haven't been tested anyway, so of course you're undefeated. What do you think about ESPN making their fighters higher in the pound rankings? I think it's disrespectful to Canelo and the other legitimate champions. It's not surprising because yeah, if you watch any ESPN fight, they're always switching. They're always like, oh yeah, the number one pound for pound Lomachenko and then. But then when Crawford fights, they're like, oh, the number one fighter Crawford. I'm like, so make up your mind. I don't even guess have noticed this because if you haven't, notice it next time. Whoever's fighting, they're the number one. If Crawford's fighting, oh, the number one Crawford, pound for pound, number one Crawford, and then Lomachenko's fighter, oh, Lomachenko, the number one. Like, ESPN, can you get your shit together? Who's the number one for you then? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's disrespectful to Canelo specifically, but I mean, I don't disagree with Lomachenko and Crawford being like definitely top three. How I don't like pound for pound list because I feel like it's too like different. Every division is different. Every fighter's resume is different given their division. So I don't like pound for pound list, but I do think that Canelo, Crawford, and Lomachenko should be, you know, in the top, and however you want to put them, that's on you, you know. But I'm not like I don't think it's like yeah, it's to be expected that they do that shit. Spence fought Little Mikey ASAP, but turned down Crawford. I don't wanna hear strap season no more. But what facilitated that fight too is that both of them have no promoters. They both are under the advisement of Al Heyman. They both used to fight on Showtime, but they both have no promoters. So that's literally like a text. You pull out the text and you're like, "Hey, you want to fight? Hey, yeah, sure, let's fight. All right, let's figure this out." Between them, they didn't need no third person chiming in. And I have an interview. You guys have to go more back on my channel because this was last year. I interviewed Mikey Garcia prior to his fight against Easter, and we talked about it. I asked him about Errol Spence, and that's what he told me too. He's like, "There's no middleman in this. It's easier. It definitely does facilitate it." Because that was my question. Like, do you think the fact that you both don't have promoters will facilitate making that fight? Because, you know, he was calling out Errol Spence's, like, back then, and we're like, bitch, shut up. But he was serious about it. And I asked him, like, what you think that facilitated? And he said, yes, and he went on. So if you guys want to go into my channel and check, I have interviews with Mikey there. But that's why. That's why that's different from Spence versus Crawford. Oh, shit. I went all the way up. Oh, fuck. I'm way off. Hello, sir. What do you think? Pac, Garcia, Ruiz, etc. left top rank. Bob needs to step down. Honestly, he's a menace. Yes. I do agree. And Andy Ruiz is a perfect example. What the fuck was he doing with Top Rank? He was actually inactive for a while, and that's why I love. Another reason why I love Andy Ruiz's story and his rise to success, because he was with Abel Sanchez at first, and now he complains about the fact that he was with Abel Sanchez because he said he never learned anything from him. He was with Top Rank, literally like fighting in the bottom on the undercards, like sometimes not even being televised or just being like, bottom fucking not even getting any exposure. And then he moved to PBC and he started like getting more promotion, more, you know, in cards that people were gonna watch. I think Andy and Top Rank was fighting in like the Fresno cards like a couple of times in a row. That's like, no offense, but who the fuck is watching shit in Fresno other than people in Fresno? So that sounds fucked up because I go to Fresno all the time. But yeah, like, yeah, Top Rank sometimes just Top Rank does an amazing job promoting prospects. Top Rank does amazing with prospects, like building them up. But other than that, fuck, I keep going all the way back. What do you think of Mikey's thing at 147? I think it's stupid. I think Mikey should go to 140 or 135 and fuck everyone out.
Mickey?
Mikey Garcia.
Mickey. I know him.
Yes, you do. With Mikey, I think he should. The reason he doesn't stay at 140 and fight there is because at Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, his brother, he has two guys at 140 who are coming up. Well, one of them's already a champion. He has Jose Ramirez at 140, and we know this. And then Virgil Ortiz, he's at 140. And to answer the next question, that's my favorite prospect. My favorite prospect is Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz is also at 140. So I think there's a conflict there for Mikey to stay at 140 because his brother literally has two 140 guys that are coming, that are basically should be, one's a champion and the other one should become champion in the next 2 years. So that's why. Y'all go watch Queen or whatever y'all were watching.
Fortnite.
All right, go play Fortnite. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
What up? Hey, what up, Chicana? Hello, guys.
Xicana Boxing.
Yes. I don't think Bob should get out of the sport. He's the best promoter. He makes the best fighter. Yeah, I mean, should he get out? I don't know about get out because the man's made history. But he's great at promoting young fighters. He's great at promoting guys that are coming up. Look at Teofimo. Teofimo's special, you guys. Teofimo is a special talent. But at the same time, are they overselling him to us right now? Right now, yes, because who's Teofimo's best win? Diego Magdaleno. And I'm not saying anything that's bad, but he does definitely need to get tested. I'm not taking anything away from him. I do think Teofimo's one of those guys that's gonna be a champion. He's special. But shit, Top Rank sold him to us like crazy. Because people are like, oh, he can beat Lomachenko. And I'm like, yo, calm the fuck down. But people love saying that shit. Why? Because Top Rank builds them up so much that they make you believe that shit. Yeah, and again, Virgil Ortiz is my favorite prospect. I think he's amazing. I saw him spar Mikey Garcia because he was sparring Mikey at 1-4 to like, get ready for the Easter fight. And shit, that fight was that sparring session was amazing. Virgil has a lot of power in his punches. He has a really good hook to the body. The fact that he just defeated Mauricio Herrera, the way he defeated him too was amazing. A lot of people are like, oh, well, he's old. He's not like the one he used to be. Yeah, but if you notice, that's how a lot of prospects get up, by defeating the guys that, were the gatekeepers per se in certain divisions. So I think fucking Herrera beat Danny Garcia, and look how Virgil took care of him. I think Virgil should have been the one to retire Linares. I wish that would have happened, but I think that kid is so goddamn special too. I think the future right now with boxing is really looking really good because with guys like Virgil, with guys like Teofimo, with Shakur Stevenson. Who am I missing? These guys are good guys, dude. Go to, oh god. Yes, power palace is subjective. Yeah, that's why when people are like, oh, what's your pound for pound? I usually don't respond because I don't know. For me, last year at least, I wanted to have Usyk as number one because Usyk gave us a sick ass boxing clinic against Gassiev. He became undisputed. He won the WBS World Boxing WBSS, and he delivered a sick ass knockout. So look at all those accomplishments just that one year. So for me, last year he should have been number one, right? Based on accomplishments, right? Because that's what that pound for pound list should be, right? Accomplishments and what you've done. And this motherfucker gave us a boxing clinic against one of the most dangerous guys at cruiserweight, if not one the most dangerous, powerful at least. So he literally put on an amazing boxing clinic. That I could watch that fight every day, and I could watch that fight against what's that kid's name? The guy he knocked out. Why do I don't remember his name? Guys, help me out here. What's that guy's name? The UK guy that he knocked out that had just fought that rematch with that other guy that I name I don't remember. Bellew, yeah, Tony Bellew. So it's like he delivered us. He fucked motherfuckers up two ways. How do you want it? Do you want me to outbox the fuck out of this motherfucker regardless of his power, or do you want me to knock him out? Because I can do both. And I'm gonna win the World Boxing Super Series and become undisputed and win that LA trophy. And he was gonna move up to heavyweight. The reason he hasn't moved up is because at first he wanted Povetkin. Povetkin was like, nope. And I think because he's juicing and he's not like he's cycling. So he said no. Then he's like, okay, I'll take Takam. And it's like, yes, Takam is out of his prime, but it's still names we know. So he's looking to move up to heavyweight, fighting guys that we have seen before, that we're familiar with before. Of course, against Takam, he's out of his prime. He's not what he used to be, but we know who the fuck he is. No offense, because I love how Tyson Fury looked in his last fight, but he's not fighting guys that we don't fucking know who they are. But again, he's not. That's why, to me, he should have been number one. But everybody, of course, is going to be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. He hasn't done anything. Crawford or Lomachenko or Canelo should be number one. But again, it's subjective. I don't know. That's why I don't fucking want to say pound pound. It's because people are going to be like, bitch, shut up. Oh, God, it's hot in my room. Go to the Robert Garcia gym. I have been once. I've only been to the Robert Garcia training boxing academy once because it was to go interview Mikey. A friend of mine and I had asked if we could go and interview Mikey or go watch him in camp, and Pita said yes. So we drove up there. It's because the drive, fuck, on the 91, we hit traffic. It's fucking crazy. But I do want to go again, especially because of Virgil. I want to go interview Virgil. I want to go interview Ramirez right now that he's preparing for Hooker. So I do want to go again, but I don't like just popping up at gyms. I like to ask. I like to notify them, especially because I'm a girl. A lot of gyms don't like having girls there, especially during training, So I do want to ask first and then see what Robert and what Pita say. Abel Sanchez always hates on Mexican fighters for some reason. Abel Sanchez is I've never liked him that much because, not because of that, but because to me, he is not a great trainer when they need to adjust. Look at Triple G. Triple G was supposed to go to the body against Canelo. We never heard Abel tell him go to the body. Never. Or anything other than headhunting. The fight I just mentioned, Gassiev versus Usyk, he was literally telling Gassiev to headhunt, and then he kept telling him, do you want me to stop the fight? Do you guys remember that fight? Because he literally kept telling Gassiev, every round after Usyk would, make him look stupid as hell, he'd be like, I'll stop this fight. I'll stop this fight if you don't land something. And I'm like, bro, instead of telling him, like, you're going to stop the fight, why don't you fucking give him some feedback? Why don't you fucking tell him, you know what, that's not working, so do this instead and try this, and let's see how Usyk responds to it. Abel gave him no fucking directions. He's just like, I'll stop this fight. I'm going to stop this fight because you're not doing anything. Well, tell me what to do, motherfucker. Like, that's why I don't like Abel, because he, in fights where his fighters are not coming on top, he doesn't seem to know how to tell them to adapt. Look at, what's that guy that also got popped for something, which was stupid. Because remember when Abel made that commercial with the steak because of Canelo, and then his fighter, what was his name? Brian Martin? Was it Brian? What was that guy's name? His other fighter that just left him too. That fighter left him too. He's at Legends now with Manny Robles. what's his name, right? He fought also in the World Boxing Super Series, and same thing. He was fighting. He was undefeated, and he was fighting another guy who was undefeated, and he lost. And Abel had nothing to tell him, nothing of use to tell him. It's just like, well, you pick it up. You're not doing it right. Like, well, he gives them no direction. So that's why I don't praise Abel as much or at all. If Maidana came back, would he still be a problem at the? I don't think so. I think Maidana would be a spectacle at this point because I love Maidana has to be one of my favorite fighters ever. Not because of his accomplishments, because we know he didn't come. He's not like a legend, but his fights were so good. Even the fights he lost were good. The way he fucked up Broner's career forever, one of my favorite moments in boxing history. But I think he did amazing against Mayweather. The first fight, the second fight, I think Mayweather had him all figured out already. Mayweather is the king of adapting. But I think Maidana at this point, even when he was coming back, it was just spectacle at that point. I don't think he would have been. It was way too long, out of the ring, way too out of shape. It just no. Who does Mikey fight next? Rumors is Danny Garcia, but nothing official. What's your breakdown of that fight? I do want to make, again, if that fight happens, I do want to make a video of the breakdown of that fight. But does Mikey have a better chance against Danny Garcia than he did against Errol Spence? Yes. Did Mikey prove he has a chin against Errol Spence? Because, Errol Spence is supposed to hit really hard. That's why he has like a huge KO percentage. But at the same time, I don't think Spence was ever trying to knock Mikey out. I don't think Spence ever really went there. But Danny Garcia has that no-look hook. Danny Garcia has that, the one. That's what he does. Danny Garcia. So, I mean, Mikey's still little. Like, why? Again, I think he should stay at 135 or 140. Fight Lomachenko. That's another thing that it conflicts, the fucking Bob Arum thing. And we talked about that too. If you look back at my interviews, I did ask him about Lomachenko. I have them all sections, so you don't have to watch like a whole 15-minute video. They're all like in segments. Anyway, I don't think he should stay at 147. I think it's dumb, especially the top. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but I guess he sees something. It's hot. It's hot, Hayden.
Yep, definitely.
Cancio versus Jojo 2 should be next. I would love for Cancio to be Jojo. I would love that. Nothing against Jojo. Did you see Cancio's mom le estaba dando la bendición? Like, she, like, I almost cried. I'm like, oh, yes. What up from Blythe, California? Rascon family in the house. In the house. What did you think about Andrew Cancio fight? I think at first I thought Machado was actually going to give Cancio a run for his money. I thought he was actually going to get his belt back because even though the first round was like a really busy round, I do think that Machado landed the crisper punches. He landed the better counter punches. So I gave the first round to Machado, even though it was a really busy and, possibly even round. It was the second round that I was like, yeesh, I don't think, besides the headbutt, because, the headbutt was having Cancio looking crazy. But I was expecting more from Machado, more hunger, more eagerness, just like in the first round. But as the second round developed, I realized that it was going to end the same. And it did end literally exactly the same. Cancio delivered a double dose of that. Was it a left hook to the body? Or it was a hook to the body. I just remember the same fucking hook that dropped Machado in the first fight. Did it again. So I thought it was an amazing fight, and I think hopefully now Golden Boy will promote Cancio more, because even in this fight, in the rematch, they were like promoting Machado more, and just hopefully now, they start promoting Cancio and putting him against other cool-ass fights, and again, against Jojo. That'd be a cool-ass fight. And obviously, Cancio's not fucking afraid to lose, because he's lost before. He don't care. Go interview Rocky Hernandez at Legends Boxing Gym. Dude is a beast coming up. I just ordered a microphone, and again, you know how I'm recovering. I don't know if you know, I'm recovering from surgery, so I can't do a lot of movement yet, but I did just order a microphone. I mean, I have two microphones. I just ordered another cable because my cable for my microphone fucked up, so they wasn't picking up the audio very well. So I did just literally place an order today on Amazon, and I'm going on Monday. To Legends. Definitely gonna take your word and interview Rocky. I'm gonna get interviews from everyone because, again, I want to be more consistent in the channel now that I'm out of school and I can definitely use the time. It's just I'm recovering from surgery and the doctor doesn't want me to do shit, but I'm gonna still do it. Virgil was beating up Mikey in sparring. No, he wasn't beating him up because Mikey has really good defense. If you know that, Mikey can adapt very well. But let me tell you what really impressed me. Um, Virgil threw a right hand like this, and Mikey was covered up, and it hit him. And even though Mikey covered it with his gloves, like it hit the gloves, it sent Mikey back like 4 steps. That's how powerful that kid is, and that shit had me like. And even again, it didn't hurt Mikey. It literally hit the gloves, but it was so powerful that Mikey took like 4 steps back. And I was like, oh, dude, it was a good ass experience. I would love to see that shit again. So I do want to go again. I do want to ask to go back to the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Welcome back home. Thank you. I feel like I'm still not back though because I can't do much. Like I don't know if you were here when I talked about it, but I went to the Dodger game 2 days ago on Wednesday, and I came back so swollen. Like my face was so swollen. I was red. Like the doctor was like, "Don't drink anything. Don't go out." I'm like, "Okay, bitch. I'm 3 weeks. I'm good." No, like I'm still not doing that well. So I just can't wait to go back to doing just fights, and that's the reason why I wasn't at the fight tonight. If not, I would have been there. Ryan Martin, yes, Blue Chip is his name, right? Ryan Blue. So he's now at Legends too with Manny Robles. So I do want to go there too and ask him, interview him on leaving Able, on his, getting popped for banned substances and all that shit. What fight did you enjoy more, Broner versus Maidana or Joshua Reis? That's hard. Why are you putting that on me? Both of them, because they're both upsets and they were both like multiple knockdowns. So both of them. Robert Garcia is having an event this Sunday. I know, and I wanted to go so bad. Mikey is sparring Eric Morales, right? They're raising money for that boxer that passed away. Did he pass away? Yeah, I know he got shot, but I'm not sure if he passed away or not. But yeah, I don't know. I wanted to go. I wanted to go initially when they had said it was gonna be May 18th. They had the first time they came out with that flyer. It was supposed to be May 18th. That exhibition match between Mikey Garcia and Morales, Eric Morales. But that was the day of my graduation, so I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna miss it. I'm like, I can't like not go to graduation so I can go to this match. And then they changed it, but I'm like, oh fuck, like I can't go nowhere because of my like I'm still recovering, so I can't go anyway. So I missed out anyway, but I really wanted to interview Frank the Cook. Shut up. Felicidades, eres hermana del changuito, le tapó el hocico. Soy hermana de... No, I'm not. I wish I was a sister. That maybe he could fucking give me some of that money that he made. I'm pretty sure they don't make that much money, but... $2,000. But I wish I was his sister. Now I could brag about it. He's paralyzed. Yeah, like, it's really sad. He got shot, right? That's how he became paralyzed. But I think it's amazing that they're putting this together to raise money for him. Props to Mikey for doing this. Props for them to literally just all of this money is going towards that. Good shit, you guys. On Monday, I'm going to Legends, and I'm trying to get a lot of interviews from all these guys, from Manny Robles, of course, Estrellita, these guys who just had a huge success with Andy Ruiz. So I do want to go and interview them, and I'll definitely have some content up for you guys, as well as now I'm going to start doing the kind of fight reviews. I don't like doing fight reviews. I'd rather go live and talk to you guys, but I do want to do like breakdowns for fights or predictions, so I'm gonna do that now. Wilder Fury rematch, fuck, that's another 50-50 fight because I think Fury won the first one. I think that fight he won besides getting, knocked out and knocked down and then being the Undertaker after. But I think he did win that fight. It's just with Wilder, it's like he says it himself. He doesn't need to be perfect. He doesn't need to have like a good style because everybody judges him on that style, right? On being wild, on windmills and shit. But those windmills catch you and you're dead. But you're gone. Like, Fury's the only one who got up from that and kept going. That's literally the only person. So it Wilder can either catch him better the second time, or Fury can adapt better and not get caught at all. Because if you think about it, that was that was Fury's fight back after fighting like literally people that didn't even matter. Like, no offense, again, I don't like calling fighters names, but he fought the Pineda fight. Then what was the other guy? It was a Pineda guy and some other guy. That those fights had those were like rough, getting off the ring rust fights, but they're dumbass fights. Like, those fights prove nothing. And then he fought Wilder, and it's like, imagine now that he's got all the ring rust stuff. He's in way better shape. He's now in his momentum, with his shape, with his with his body again. So I can only imagine that he will get better. He'll be more, he'll be moving better in the ring against Wilder. But again, it's not if he catches you, it's when he catches you. So how many times can he put Fury down on the canvas, and how many times is Fury going to get up? That's why I think it's 50-50. That fight is, I'm excited as fuck for the rematch. I just hope it's here in LA again, but I'm pretty sure they're going to move it to New York. What part of LA are you from? I am from San Pedro, California. Puro pinche Texas. I'm going to go to Texas on October 23rd. No, October 12th. I'm going to San Antonio on October 12th. My friend's getting married, so I'm going to go to Texas. I want to see Ruiz versus Fury. Me too, because it's literally speed versus, like, head movement. So I would love to see that shit. But your top 3 favorite boxers currently. Favorite? I don't know. I never thought about that. Favorite? Who's my favorite boxer? I don't really have. See, the thing is with us, at least, like my family, we don't have favorite boxers. We love the sport. Like, we love boxing, and we love, as long as the fighting game is fair. So I never thought about that. I guess who do I enjoy watching? I don't know. That's a good question. I'll think about that one. I guess I before I could tell you an answer. Right now I can't really give you an answer. I love Usyk. I think Usyk's my favorite fighter. Usyk is my favorite fighter because he's so funny. Do you guys follow Usyk on Instagram? He's fucking funny. I love Usyk. Danny Roman. I love Danny Roman. Danny Roman, Usyk. Danny Roman, Usyk, and who else? Oh, Virgil, I guess. I watch all boxing, so I don't really like have favorites. But I think I'm gonna say Virgil, Usyk, and who else did I say? Oh, and Danny Roman. Yeah. Usyk looks like a serial killer. Like, he looks crazy. Virgil's right fighting. Yes, I know, and I just want to brag about this now that everybody knows. He told me first. We're mutual. We follow each other on Instagram, on Twitter. So he posted like, "Oh, I'm announcing my fight soon," and I like just creeped on his DMs and I just put the eye emojis, and he's like, "Oh, I'll tell you because you're cool," and he gave me the date. I obviously didn't tell nobody because I was fucked up. I would never tell. But now that everyone knows, everyone put 2 and 2 together too, because they announced that there was gonna be a fight in his hometown. And then he had just said that. He's like, "Oh, fight announcement coming soon." And then they're like, "Oh, there's going to be a fight in Arlington, Texas." Where, like, guys from the Robert Garcia people are fighting too. And, like, Gold. So I'm like, that makes, like, that kind of 2 and 2 together. You know, like, Golden Boy, Virgil, Arlington, Texas. Like that. People just put 2 and 2 together. Boxing fans are not stupid. Texas Boxing Community leaves a date. But he told me first. Anyway, guys, it's really hot in my room. I need to turn off the lights. Thank you guys so much for being here and watching this after the fight. I will be making more videos on Monday with interviews. I'll be posting interviews, and then Aiden's gonna go with me to the gym. He does his job with his interviews too. He helps me a lot. So we're definitely gonna be at the gym on Monday getting interviews. I'm posting them for you guys. Let me know. Follow me on Twitter if you want. I'll post. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. I'm pretty sure most of you guys from me are from Twitter, but it's at Lilykins, LILYYKINSS. 2 S's, 2 Y's. Lily, 2 Y's, Kins, 2 S's. That's my username on Twitter, and Xicana Boxing on Instagram. Follow me, and I'll post the times that we'll be posting the interviews. So thank you guys so much. Have a good night. See you at the next fight. I'm not selling shirts, but I do have a couple only. I have 2 larges and 2 mediums. So if you're either large or medium, hit me up. Send me a message or a comment on here or on Twitter, and I'll send you one. You don't have to, like, I don't sell them. I just give them out to people that want them. So I'll see you guys.